bodies discovered from a house in Dehiwala. Postmortem reveals the cause of death is inhaling toxic gas. Electricity supply back to normal from tomorrow.
මම විශ්වාස කරනවා 99.9%ක්ම අපිට හෙට දවසේ උදෑසන වෙන විට මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳ ගන්න පුළුවන් වේවි කියලා.
Traditional clay industrialists in the North-West demand to cease regulations. Ishanta Ranatunga granted bail. What's happening here at home, across the globe and in the sporting arena? Newsfirst is here to tell you. Very good evening to you. I'm Saturang Hapuarachi.
And I'm Bernadine Jaisinghe. Very good evening to you.
Now on to our top story for the day. 4 bodies were discovered from inside a 3-storied house in Kaudana Road in Dehiwala today.
The deceased were the mother, father and daughter of the same family and a relative.
Area residents in Kaudana Road woke up this morning to the tragic news of a discovery of 4 bodies inside the house, which is right behind me. The police are here and the investigation is still underway. Now, when I spoke to the locals in the area, there was a lot of speculation as to what had happened. The various stories coming out from the locals, but we cannot be sure of the accuracy of any of the stories until the police investigation is over. This house is located in Kaudana Road, which is 150 meters just off Gaul Road in Dehiwala.
This house, located next to 40B on Kaudana Road in Dehiwala, was home to a family of 3, the daughter being only 13 years of age. The father, Hussein Maulana, was 65 years old, while the mother, Murshida Maulana, was 52 years old. Their daughter was 13-year-old Husna Maulana, while 14-year-old Mishna Maulana was a relative. Scene of crime officers visited the house today for investigations. The bodies were found in the ground floor of the house. Following the magisterial inquiry, the bodies were moved out of the house. According to a correspondent who visited the scene this morning, the 13-year-old daughter was found dead on the chair. The house was sealed by police for further investigations.
Minister of Power and Renewable Energy Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that the supply of electricity will be restored by tomorrow. He said that operations to recommence Noorochuli power plant is underway.
The latest island-wide power outage, which started at around 2:20 on Sunday afternoon, occurred due to an explosion in a transformer at the Biagama substation of the Ceylon Electricity Board. Even though the supply of electricity was restored after a lapse of 10 hours, the CEB has not been able to provide a continuous electricity supply as the Noorochuli power plant, which adds to 42% of the electricity to the national grid, shut down following the incident.
මම විශ්වාස කරනවා 99.9%ක්ම
Come tomorrow morning, 99.9% of this issue will be resolved. When the Noorochuli power plant gets disconnected from the national grid, the system shuts down for the protection of the 3 generators. It takes at least 3 days to restore the operations. That is the problem. However, we are ready to find a solution to this problem. We held discussions yesterday. Experts suggest that by constructing a small power plant in close proximity to the Noorochuli power plant, this situation can be rectified. We are prepared to provide a solution for this in the future.
However, the scheduled power cuts by the Ceylon Electricity Board had caused severe discomfort to those living in many areas.
This is a very sad situation. We have been placed in much difficulty. Our businesses have been completely stalled. Power cuts cause an economic impact on our lives. The government has no understanding on falling businesses. The reason provided for these power cuts is the breakdown at the Noorochuli power plant. But this is not the first time that the Noorochuli power plant shut down. There were no power cuts at previous instances. The government needs to find a solution without burdening the public in this manner.
A number of views were expressed regarding the power cuts at media briefings held today.
The cost per unit of electricity when supplied by the government is less than 10 rupees. However, the cost per unit of electricity supplied by private companies is between 20 and 70 rupees. Agreements have been signed on these terms with the CEB. According to these agreements, a huge racket is taking place. Pardon me for saying this, but a certain mafia is in force within the Ceylon Electricity Board. Certain engineers are taking undue advantage of the situation there. A minister from the government has a responsibility to look into these matters.
In the history of Sri Lanka, never was there an island-wide blackout as a result of a transformer exploding. Such incidents are taking place due to the inefficient actions of this government. There is no point in blaming this on the joint opposition or on Mahinda Rajapaksa. This is the third such power failure in as many months. The government needs to take responsibility for this.
The story presented to us with regard to the power cuts is not one we can easily accept. There is no excuse that the engineers can give here. Just because there was a fault in one place, this does not mean that the entire system has to fail. If that is the case, either the engineers are a bunch of fools or there is a group conspiring within the engineers.
A national public service initiative, the News First Come at the Door-to-Door campaign, got underway for its 22nd day today. The campaign, which is being supported by the University of Peradeniya, is in effect in the Nuwara, Kegol and Ampara districts.
Come at the Door-to-Door, a national public service initiative.
The Newsfirst Come at the team touring the Nuwara district commenced their journey today from Bandaranaikapura in Hatton. Thereafter, the team split in two and visited the Samanalgama and Kudagama villages. The dispensary in Hatton caught the eye of the Newsfirst Come at the team, which toured Samanalgama. Locals in the area say that this dispensary, which was handed over to the public on the 17th of October in 2005, does not have the required amount of facilities. The dental clinic of the dispensary was opened today after a span of 8 months with the efforts of the Newsfirst Come at the team. This made way for the locals of Samanalgama to enjoy the benefits of the dental clinic as of today. The other Newsfirst Come at the team, which commenced their journey from Bandaranaikapura, met with the locals of the Kudagama village, who are severely inconvenienced by a garbage mound. Locals say that the garbage collected from Ambagamo and Muskelia being disposed at this site has transformed the village of Samanalgama, which once stood for its beauty, to this garbage dump. This canal, which flows along the garbage mound, has caused a health hazard not only to the people of Samanalgama but to locals of many nearby villages. The polluted water of the canal flows into the Mavali river, which is a source of water to several areas including the Watavala, Ginigathena and Gampul areas. Our children get sick because of this smoke.
We cannot have a child around because we are constantly in hospital because of this. We cannot even eat the food we cook because of the stench.
Another Newsfirst Come at the team, going from door to door inquiring into the issues of the people in the Kegol district, commenced their journey today from the Bulatko Pitiya Pannala Viharya.
When students protesting on the streets are dispersed with tear gas, that receives a lot of media coverage. But when endeavours such as this are supported by students, they do not get media coverage. But I believe that the Citizen Media Network has rectified this issue. Even though university students possess the wisdom and knowledge, they do not have the capacity to go around the country and inquire into certain things freely. So we are thankful to the Citizen Media Network for giving us this opportunity.
Upon visiting the Sri Vardhanarama Buddhist Primary School in Hattagoda village, our team came across a plethora of issues faced there. Students of the first grade in the school carry out their classes at the temple as the school, which is already facing a water crisis, does not have proper building facilities. The temple cannot accommodate any more students next year because of the space unavailable. We do not have a sports ground nor equipment. There is insufficient security. We erected fences with the use of bamboo trees for security. There is no sanitary facility for the school whatsoever. The other Newsfirst Come at the team touring the Kegol district visited the Alavathura, Ambuwakka and the Lower Newsmere village. Upon reaching the Lower Newsmere village, our team met this family of 7. The parents of this family, which have the responsibility of feeding the mouths of their 5 children with the little they earn from a day's work, live in this clay hut. Meanwhile, a group of locals of Peethava, Gatyathutta had been waiting patiently all day till nightfall, anxious to meet the Newsfirst Come at the team touring the Kegol district. After visiting this village, it was witnessed that these locals spend their nights with the aid of a fire.
There is no school, and the children who do go to school face difficulties. Even though there is a road from Halgola to Peethava, there is no maintenance whatsoever.
The Newsfirst Come at the team touring the Ampara district visited the Annamale area, where the underdeveloped Sri Shakti Vidyalaya caught our team's eye. The students of this area who obtain their education with limited facilities also face the threat of crocodiles in the Annamale Lake.
What you see behind me is something which we usually do not see. They use block carts in order to mine sand and earn a living. But there is also a danger that these villagers face along with mining sand, even the sand miners along with these villagers. This is known as the Mavrinini River. In this river, there are dangerous crocodiles, and these crocodiles have increased in numbers, and this is a threat for the villagers.
The other Newsfirst Gammatha team touring Ampara inquired into the issues faced in the Samanthura area. The locals of this area too face a myriad of issues, including the threat of crocodiles and wild elephants. The main issue concerning the Savalakade village in the Ampara district, which our team visited, was the severe drinking water crisis faced by its locals.
The main issue facing the people of Savalakade is the issue of drinking water. Imagine surviving a week of water stored in this tank, and that is only if you have 1,500 rupees to spare. If you have 1,500 rupees, the Pradesh Sabha comes once a week and fills this tank. Unless you have 1,500 rupees, you have very little to survive on. Imagine surviving a week on 6 pots of water that are this size. That is the only thing that is offered to these people free of charge by the Pradesh Sabha.
Gammatha Door to Door, a national public service initiative.
The unparalleled island-wide campaign, Gammatha Door to Door. Newsfirst, Sri Lanka's largest and most influential news provider, together with the University of Peradeniya, takes the unprecedented step. Walking from home to home, asking people this one simple question: what would make your life better? From the 24th of February to the 18th of March, covering all 25 districts, ensuring the very last home in each village is covered. A revolutionary campaign with one aim: giving a voice to the voiceless.
Traditional clay manufacturers in the northwestern province staged a demonstration in the Pannala town today. They request that laws imposed for extracting clay be relaxed.
Now, according to our correspondent, the demonstrators arrived opposite the Pannala residence of Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Perera later on in the evening.
The demonstrators arrived at the Pannala town from the Singapuli area in Dangkotua. The group staged the demonstration in the Pannala town, obstructing all roads. Our correspondent said that the Pannala Nigambo, Pannala Kuliapitiya, Pannala Colombo and Pannala Kurunagala roads were obstructed by the demonstration.
The clay industry in this area is at a standstill. The authorities are not taking any action in this regard. Permits are required. Each day we require 2 cubes of clay per kiln. We urge the authorities to take the necessary action and issue permits so we can recommence production.
The police and the riot squad were dispatched to the area to control the demonstration. As no official arrived at the location to look into the issue, the demonstrators marched to the residence of Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Perera. Our correspondent said that a secretary to the minister who arrived at the location held a discussion with the demonstrators. The protesters said they will not vacate the premises of the minister until a solution is provided for their issue.
Several views were expressed today on the meeting which has been organised at the Hyde Park in Colombo tomorrow by the joint opposition.
A government of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has no jobs and no development. The Prime Minister is running the country today the way he wants. So our political agenda is the politics against the United National Party.
The meeting is tomorrow, isn't it? So once they hold this meeting, we will investigate it and examine the speeches made there and come to a decision. This will not be a personal decision. Every decision in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is made by the party's Central Committee.
What is the role of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party? Who is our common enemy? It is the United National Party. So what is the crime we have committed for disciplinary action to be taken against us for staging a public rally with the intention of defeating our common enemy and its government to appoint one of our own? We have 96 seats in parliament. We need just 24 hours to send this government packing.
Mahindananda Aludgamage, whose wife said in court that he is a rogue, is in this. Then there is one person who used to snatch gold chains from trains and was once bitten by a snake after he was summoned to the Bribery Commission. So these are the kind of persons who are trying to find ways to topple the government at a time when they are being investigated by the FCID. We tell the parents of this country, if your spouse or child is joining with the persons I mentioned above, then your spouse and child will also be among the list of those who destroyed this country. If you are to safeguard your families, do not send them with these rogues.
Certain people managed to cause great inconvenience to the public since roads were closed and congested as a result of a gathering that took place at the Lipton Circus yesterday evening. While using their power in such ways, university students, on the other hand, were attacked for protesting. Now another group will be coming to Hyde Park to smash coconuts because the issues they have are not issues of the farmers but rather issues with the gods. Their primary request is for the FCID to be abolished. That's how they show their power. Now what the two sides are doing is challenging each other as to see who will manage to attract more supporters than the other. So now both parties have forgotten the issue of the citizens and are engaging in competition to see who will attract the most number of supporters.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa and former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa attended an event held in Colombo today.
The event was held in Colombo this evening to commemorate Professor Jagat Wickramasinghe. While leaving the premises following the conclusion of the event, journalists questioned former President Mahinda Rajapaksa on the meeting which is scheduled to be held tomorrow.
Minister Mahinda Amravida today assumed duties as the General Secretary of the United People's Freedom Alliance.
The event, which took place at the Sri Lanka Freedom Party headquarters, was attended by many seniors from the UPFA. Different views were expressed by different persons at the recent general elections. However, there is none who knows the truth 100%. Only Anurayapa and I know the truth. Therefore, I request all the others to refrain from making statements to the media and at meetings of matters that they do not know. When these matters are to be corrected, there will be serious issues. When nominations were given, some called and raised concerns with me. Every decision was made based on instructions of the party leadership. However, not everyone appreciated our services. You need to have qualifications and luck to hold such a position. Some have the qualifications but they do not have the luck for that. Some don't have qualifications but have the luck. Some have both and yet they don't have any positions. When the alliance was being formed, I was one who created the agreement. Many said that Nemal Siripala de Silva must be made General Secretary. No one opposed it. When we read the weekend newspapers, it said that Susil Premjayantha was made the General Secretary. He did not know. This is the nature of politics. The younger MPs must understand this. We are holding discussions with 16 other political parties to join hands with us. We hope to work with the new General Secretary and further strengthen the United People's Freedom Alliance. I invite everyone to join hands with us to build a SLFP-led alliance government by 2020. All have aspirations to build our government. We need to follow a democratic process. There are no shortcuts to gain power. Victory can only be achieved through the elections.
Nishant Ranatunga, who was arrested and remanded on charges of alleged financial irregularities at CSN, was released on bail today.
The Kaduwala Magistrate Court ordered to release Nishantha Ranatunga on a cash bail of 100,000 rupees and 2 personal bails of 1 million rupees each. The Kaduwala Magistrate issued this order after considering a motion presented to courts. Court ordered Nishantha Ranatunga to cooperate in the investigations and also not to undertake any overseas trips without informing courts. The Colombo High Court, which examined the bail application submitted on behalf of Nishantha Ranatunga this morning, informed that bail could be granted by the Magistrates Court. When I come to this bus halt in Mount Lavinia with my child every morning to send her to school, these boys use profanity on me and the other parents at the halt. This has been happening for the past 2 months.
This father made these remarks towards the students of Colombo schools who travel in buses every morning. He lost his temper, delaying those involved and not involved in the incident.
Students from a number of leading schools in Colombo and several teachers travel in this bus, which commences from Kalutara. This father charges that for the past 2 months, a group of students embarrassed him using foul language.
I informed the Mount Lavinia police and the Kalutara depot of this matter. They stopped the operations of this bus for 2 days. Again, the boys started to use foul language on me when I am with my daughter.
The individual pursued the bus in question at 7 this morning and stopped it by obstructing its path.
There are those who shout. We accept that this mistake is made by us.
We have told them to stop. We are all humans here. There is a thing called self-respect. As teachers, we never support this kind of act. We have always said no to such acts. We have always asked them to stop doing this, but it is extremely difficult to control students of other schools.
The wife of the individual who faced this unfortunate incident made an appeal from the students after boarding the bus.
Tell me, how would you feel if someone spoke to your father like this in the bus halt? Do you know what my daughter comes and says at home? I'm a mother of 2 and I'm asking you to please stop these illicit acts. From here on out, please don't tease a mother or a father.
Everyone in this bus had to pay the price for the actions of a few. The journey of the bus was delayed due to the incident and the students were also late to face their examination.
A special program is currently being conducted in the Agra Shravaka Mahabodhi temple in Mardana.
The program is conducted by Venerable Banagala Upathisathera. The program is held in celebration of the birth of Satguru Brahmeshanandacharya Swami. Blessings were invoked after the chanting of Pirith.
Still on local news, speaking at a media briefing held at the Ministry of Housing and Construction today, Subject Minister Sajid Premadasa says that a program has been launched to construct urban housing complexes.
Our country is rapidly progressing towards becoming a middle-income country. It has become a national priority to quench the need for middle-class housing. It is after we focused on this need and with the guidance of the Prime Minister and the leadership of our ministry, we launched this program to construct urban housing complexes.
Agreements on the grants that will be provided to Sri Lanka for development purposes were signed at the Ministry of Finance today.
The agreements were signed between the European Commission of International Cooperation and Development, Nevan Mimika, and Minister of Finance, Ravi Karnanayaka.
The European Union has provided a total of 760 million euros focused on helping those regions and communities that were most affected by the war and by the tsunami as well. New country strategy for 2014-2020 has almost doubled our grant assistance to 210 million euros. And today we have signed the first two financing agreements for this period. The first agreement will support integrated rural development in the most vulnerable districts of the Central and Uva provinces. Another 8 million euros agreement is allocated to the trade-related assistance.
We look forward to any assistance and all assistance that can be given on the GSP, which is being pursued by us, and I look forward to the assistance that's coming, because trade is very important. We prefer trade rather than aid, and helping us to have market access into the European Union with your assistance would be greatly appreciated.
An event to mark International Students' Day was held in Colombo yesterday.
The event, which was organized by the Indian High Commissioner's Office in Sri Lanka, was graced by Minister of Special Assignments Dr. Sarath Amunugama and Indian High Commissioner Y.K. Singha.
Indian science and technology, Indian knowledge today is a world leader. And being in proximity to that, Sri Lanka can gain very much from it. Equally, there are institutions which enable Indian scholars, Indian researchers, Indian scientists to come to Sri Lanka and to work in our universities. Particularly, I think in the fields of medicine, in engineering, in space and modern technologies, there are a lot of areas for collaboration between our leading scientists and those of India.
This scholarship scheme is something very important because it connects the student community in Sri Lanka to the student community in India. And I think it's important because both our countries are striving to build a knowledge-based society, and such interaction, two-way interaction, is very important to ensure that we reach that goal. But it's important that this sort of cooperation, this sort of coming together that we do every year is important to recount some of the experiences and to share notes.
In sports news, tomorrow marks the 20th anniversary of Sri Lanka winning the Cricket World Cup in 1996.
A media briefing was held today with the participation of the captain of the 1996 World Cup team, Arjuna Rantunga, members of the winning team as well as members of the administration who served in office during that period in order to share their experiences.
When we participated in the World Cup, it was Ana Punchiheva who was in charge. Ana Punchiheva did not meddle with the activities of the selection committee, nor did he try to do the selection himself. The Minister of Sports did not even talk to us back then. He only knew that the team was winning. However, today the team has to face undue mental pressure as a result of unwanted interferences. Without looking at events that took place in the past, let us unite, focus on wishing the team. Let us see if they are able to win the T20 World Cup once again. Let us try to motivate the 15 players of the team. I do not trust the cricket board at all. I may even not trust the sports ministry. However, I have faith that our players will be able to win the World Cup. Our team has flown to India. I personally think the need of the hour is not looking into whether the method they were selected is right or wrong, but giving them the maximum support that they need. I think, even during the last World T20 tournament, the team set out after facing similar issues. When compared with other countries, I do not think we have a common plan to move forward. If it is possible, we should rally together on social media and try to elevate the level of our cricket. However, we do not have a suitable environment to carry out such a campaign. I will not contest, nor will I come forward.
We
had the plan to become the world's best cricket playing nation by the year 2000. Then there were some who said that when you win the World Cup, you become the world's best team. However, I do not see a plan or target of that sort in the game today. Not just now, but even in the recent past, such a plan was not seen. There are good players even today. I think that if the players work as a team and unite with a common goal, it would not be a difficult task to win the World Cup.
With that, we wrap up the news tonight. I'm Bernadine Jayasinghe.
I'm Chaturang Hapwarachi. Take care
Good
and
night.
good night.